There we go. Good day, fellow lore sages. It is me, DMPaulG. Welcome to Lore Academia. The dogs are barking, motorcycles passing by, no video okay happening. That's why we didn't have a stream yesterday. So, welcome everyone. Raffle? No, not yet. I was thinking about it. I was actually trying to do a raffle today, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to do it. So soon. All right. Give something simple, But we're on our way. Now we're on the phase that I'm convinced that we should do a raffle. So we're getting closer to that goal. And there's a good reason for that because today uh, is a special day for Lore Academia, or actually for this channel, because we just hit Twitch affiliate. Congrats, everyone. Yes, that's right. I don't know how it happened. We're just reading adventures, D&D adventures. But for some reason, we're here. This is the image that was sent to me by Twitch. So that's part of the email. They sent it to us. And apparently, I thought it's just gonna be me, a few of my friends, family members who just want to support me. That's gonna be watching this stream as I do my job as a storyline coordinator for the Moonshae Isles at Batman Games. So I'm just trying to extract lore from all the adventures that I have, all the source materials that I have. And apparently a lot of you guys want that as well. Holy crap! We have that's yeah, that can happen now too. I forgot about, yeah, I was not thinking about that. Yeah, you can now subscribe. No emotes. That's what I'm planning to do. That's what I'm trying. Actually, I put one emote there, but it's still on pending. I have like my face, which is what you see in like our Discord server. I put it there, but apparently Twitch hasn't approved it yet. They probably think like, who's this dude's face? Like, are you allowed to even put it here as as an emote? So they're still approving that, and then we'll have more soon, hopefully. So more emotes. By being a Twitch affiliate, we can do that, and yeah, it's gonna be awesome for us. So this is a cool achievement for Lore Academia, or for this channel. So are there gonna be any changes? Not a lot, but when I started this stream, this is just basically for fun, to share what I have to the community, or at least to the people who are interested. That's it. I think that's the better term. Um, you know, I keep mentioning it almost like every week. This is part of my work. I need to know what has happened in the Moonshae Isles, and I don't really have time to play all of these adventures, so I'm just reading through it. And, in my head, I was like, maybe other people would actually want to learn with me as I read through these adventures, right? And then now we're here. Um, so that's all like part of, it was just fun thing happening. Thank you, then Mother Place, for the follow. Hello, welcome. As I was just discussing what are our future plans here in Lore Academia now that we're a Twitch affiliate. So yeah, it's just part of a hobby, just all fun. But now, thank you. Holy crap! What's going on here? What's going on? All right. This is crazy. All right, we have. Let's test this feature. Wow. Okay. I can't complete what I'm trying to say. Now that people have subscribed, we now have the subscribe feature. People are spending money for just supporting. Guys, holy crap! What's going on? Now that we have this, we'll have now budget for raffle, right? Not truffles, raffle, right? And then what else do we have? Get emotes. Yes, we will get emotes in the future. I have one emote that's pending right now. And now we have to take this schedule seriously. Because before it was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. Let's cancel the stream for tonight or today. There's people doing video, okay? Not the right time to do streams, so let's cancel. But now that we have leveled up, I think we need to make sure that we become more disciplined and follow the schedule, right? So Monday to Thursday, we're gonna do our best to follow that schedule, and then watch me fail like the day after, because I know we have like a family outing happening soon, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna skip like one or two of those sessions. But yeah, that's what we're gonna try to do now. And yeah, that is it for us. So we're doing that. We're trying to follow our schedule. And holy crap, Ted, thank you very much. Yes, we'll try it. We'll try to get. I don't even know, what does Hype Train do? Hype Train is closed. Sub GIF use this to start, but Hype Train, what does that do? I don't know what that does. It's just there. Okay, I guess. Awesome. Oh, it's a gifted sub. All right, nice, awesome. A lot of things. Wow, that is crazy. I didn't even know. It didn't take off. The train does not like us. There was a timer, right? I think the timer ran out. I don't know. I'm not. That's what I saw. There's like a 1 second and then it disappeared. Okay. So that's it. That's what we're doing. And then we're gonna. I'm close to scheduling. I think next week we're gonna do. We're gonna start doing Fallout 4 streams. Yes, we're gonna play Fallout 4. I already bought it on Steam. I bought a controller that I think I'm not gonna use, according to some of you guys, because it's a FPS apparently, FPS game. But we're playing Fallout 4 because I don't know. I can't tell you yet, but it's related to a tabletop role-playing game. So yes, that's why you know. Show controller, it's charging right now because since I can't play Fallout 4 yet, I'm just playing Final Fantasy 15. So it's charging. Where is it? Look, we got a PS5. We got a PS5 controller. That's it. We only got a controller. Yeah. So we have that. It's cool. It doesn't work on Fallout 4 because Fallout 4 doesn't have a PS5 config when I connect it to it. So we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So that's what's happening right now. Let me remove this. There we go. Yeah, so for those who just joined us now, again, thank you very much for supporting. It sucks that the train didn't go off, whatever this choo-choo train, hype train that we're trying to do. Next time, I think it will happen. But thank you everyone. PS5 raffle. Yeah, I get to keep the controller. You get to keep the PS5. Why not, right? So for those who are joining us for the first time or new here in Lore Academia, what do? Again, we read adventures. we're trying to extract as much lore as we can about the Moonshae Isles, a group of islands west of the Sword Coast, where Sword Coast in the Forgotten Realms, where there's Waterdeep, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter, all the fun stuff is happening in the Sword Coast, especially in 5th edition of the Dungeons and Dragons. But we're gonna sail to the Sea of Swords, head west, and that's where you'll see a group of islands, an archipelago called the Moonshae Isles, that is heavily influenced by Celtic and Welsh lore. Mythology and stories, and lots of Welsh names that I literally cannot pronounce. Like, my tongue will not be able to bend to be able to pronounce the words or how it's supposed to pronounce. So, yep. And yeah, so that's what's happening right now. And here we're reading the Moonshae Isles Rising Shadow Adventures. This is the latest storyline, or like the latest event that has happened in the Moonshae Isles. And it has a story path because here, as you can see, the story path for the Rising Shadow goes all the way down to Moon 20. And except for Moon 1 and Moon 20, all of these circles right here have like 3 adventures. They're trilogies. So Moon 2 trilogy, Moon 3 trilogy, Moon 4, and we just completed Moon 4 trilogy. So now we're starting Moon 5. We're grinding our way towards Moon 20. We're in the second row, so we're getting close, right? Getting close. And that's what we're gonna do. And so in the first adventure of the Moon 5 trilogy, we have Bloodlust Rising. I have a feeling that we're gonna go to to Moray, the Isle of Moray, but we'll see. So we'll just read the adventure, extract as much lore as we can. We're not gonna focus much on the technical stuff like the writing, combat encounters, all that stuff. Although, I don't know, I just keep on lying because we do focus on that whenever we see something interesting about them. So, there. But our goal here is to extract as much lore as we can about the Moonshae Isles. Okay, so this is an Adventures League adventure. You can play it for homebrew games, your home games, but you can also play this as part of the organized play system for the Moonshae Isles, organized play system for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Man, the dogs are happy today. Like, excited. I think we are going to Moray. We'll see. So this is MOO5-1, written by Garrett, Colón. And I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, because I heard a YouTube video with his name mentioned, and I'm just following the pronunciation. So, there. They're not too loud? Okay. Good. Okay. That's good. Or not good. We need to hear them louder, I think. If there's going to be lycanthropes here. Anyway, Bloodlust Rising. Let's see what happens here. When it was just livestock, few took note. When people disappear, things change. Now, farmsteads are burning and bloodthirsty cackling echo through the hills of old Narhelm in northern Alaron. Oh, we're still in Alaron. Wow. 5 trilogies in, or 4 trilogies in, or 5, and we're still in the Isle of Alaron. The farmers are defenseless against such bloodlust. Can heroes help? This is part 1 of the Tides of Blood trilogy, set in the Moonshae Isles and brought to you by Baldman Games. It's a 4-hour D&D Adventures League, level 5 to 10, for level 5 to 10 characters. The north of the Fahrenheit range, everything's been south. Actually, let's look at it. Let's look at where this is happening. He said Narhelm. Oh, I let's look at our super advanced map, which is right here. There we go. I think we need to zoom out. So we're in the Isle of Alaron. Right there, so you can see. And we're in the northern part. So most of the adventures happen here in Durnal Forest, south of Alaron. A lot of trilogy happen here in the Fairheight range. And now we're going here to Narham. Okay. Which is, yeah, northern part. But you see, like, if it's written like in black big font, that means it's like a kingdom or something similar to that. So like here, it's the kingdom of Caladir. Now we're basically like in the realm or the kingdom of Narham. We don't know yet because we don't know much about Narham. I hope we can learn more about it in this trilogy. Salmon Bay. Where's Salmon Bay? I didn't see it. There's one. Oh, here. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, and Narhelm is there too. Right there. Nice. Okay, so what did I just draw? It looks like a Pichu or something, or confused duck. Anyway, before I draw something weird, yeah, it looks like a Pichu, right? Yeah, so we're going to Narhelm. This is where we're gonna be at, but it's still in the Isle of Alaron. Let me zoom out further for those who are not that familiar with the Moonshae Isles. When this is our map, this is the best I can do actually, and you can see the islands that we have. But most of the adventures are, at least for the Rising Shadows so far, are all happening here in the Isle of Alaron. There are some talks about the Isle of Gwenet in Oman, but most of it is happening here in the Isle of Alaron. So that's where everything's, or at least this adventure is gonna take place, especially in the Kingdom of Narham, or in the realm of Narham. And yeah, let's go. Let's dig in and see what's here. We're gonna skip the introduction and all the AL play stuff because again, we're here to extract lore. We're gonna go straight down to Adventure Primer. The old Northland ways have become diluted, impure. We must strengthen our heritage and keep our culture strong. Wow. Scory Borson to the Guardians of the North. This looks like an original quote because I see the NPC name. Wow. Okay. Let's see what's happening. It looks like we're gonna focus on the Northlanders now, which is great. All right. The Northlanders that kind of settled here in the Moonshae Isles. They're kind of like how should I say this? Inspired by like the Vikings, and then kind of arrive here in the Moonshae Isles, pillage towns and villages, went to war with the folk, which is the first human settlers here in the Moonshae Isles, before the Northlanders. Folk with the 2 Fs, and then peace happened, especially with the help of High Queen Alicia Kendrick, the grandmother of the current High King, Darred Kendrick. So, but yeah, let's see what's going on. Let's read through it. Adventure background. Northern Alaron has been a quiet and peaceful region for some time. Once known as the Northland Jarldom Narham, okay? Jarldom Narham. It will take me a while to get used to that. House Kendrick absorbed the Jarldom, and the two different cultures mix rather seamlessly. This peace and culture are about to be disrupted by internal machinations. Okay. Years ago, a young man named Bryn killed a man and was banished, brought in by Northland raiders. He changed his name to Scory Borson and enjoyed his life of bloodshed and violence. Later, when he came upon a relic of Yunogu, oh, we have a demon lord involved here. His mind was easily twisted and he became a worshiper. Oh wow, Northlanders, demon lords. I'm liking this so far. Scory has now returned to his old stomping grounds, forming a cult called the Guardians of the North. To the public, they're Tempest worshippers, bringing the old customs and culture of the Northland people back to the forefront and making them strong once again. The locals and authorities treat them as foolish and suspicious, but leave them alone. This is a poor choice, my friends. Don't leave them alone. And more details about the cult can be found in Appendix 2. Oh, that's going to be a fountain of knowledge, I bet. A fountain of lore for us. A deal has formed between Scory and a Fomorian named Keolin ni Brianin. I hope there's a pronunciation guide somewhere here. From the court of Vortomil in the Isle of Oman. So we dealt with the Fomorians in Moon 3 trilogy, I think, with the dwarves, right? But now we're back. We're back with the court of Vortomil. Brianin. Oh, that's probably it. Keolin ni Brianin. Okay. That sounds way better. Okay, thank you. Keolin and some of her servants have arrived undercover. How? How does a Fomorian go undercover? Fomorian is like a giant that is cursed by the Fae. So like they're really, really deformed. But again, they're giants. They're like 12 to 15 feet tall, probably taller. But yeah, bringing gnolls and other demons with them to create destruction and chaos. While their goals are different, the pain they will bring to the northern Alaron will be felt. Wow. The court of Vortomil really wants to get the Isle of Moray. So let's get this information. So we're still in the Isle of Alaron. We're focused in Narhelm, and we have Vortomil involved. What else do we have here? So we have Dress Jotunhammer, which is a high-ranking member of Guardians of the North. We have that faction. Guardians of the North. Cultists disguised as Tempest worshippers. So, a bit of lore, what I know about the lore Northlanders. So again, they obviously they came from the north. Most of them, like Icewind Dale or Spine of the World, and the weather there is harsh, like really, really harsh. Like just your goal there is just to survive. If you're born there, you know, surviving a day is already a challenge. Like waking up is, and then making sure that you stay alive to be able to sleep and then wake up the next day, that's already a challenge. So they tried to move away, or at least try to find a more hospitable land, a place where they can live. And there are three gods three deities that they mainly worship. One is from Rime of the Frost Maiden. Forgot her name. It's in my head. How can I forget her name? But yeah, from Rime of the Rime of the Frost Maiden. Man, really have to Google this. Who is I forgot her name. It's like at the tip of my tongue, but Oril. There you go. How can I forget Oril? All right. So Oril is the first one because uh of the cold at the north, right? And if you've played or read Rime of the Frost Maiden, which is a D&D 5th edition hardcover adventure, it's all about her making Icewind Dale her home. Um, so that's one of the deities that they worship. So if you want to survive here in the cold, worship Oril. And then they sail southward, they worship Umberlee, the bitch queen, because you want to survive the sea, you worship Umberlees. Again, these are not nice deities, okay? But if you're living in an area that is super harsh, like a harsh environment, and your goal is to survive, it will come to a point that it doesn't matter if the deity is evil or not. If they will keep me alive, I'll go for it. All right. And then the third one is Tempest, the god of war. And this is one of what I think one of the theme here in this adventure is the Northlanders. You have the Guardians of the North pretending to be Tempest worshippers and trying to bring the old ways of raiding, pillaging, bringing war back here. Although Tempest wants like an honorable battle, like a war for a just cause. These Northlanders, again, it's their old ways. It doesn't matter if they become if you watch the stream that we had for Castle of Skulls, how I portray the Northlanders because they want to survive. And if they're gonna be the villains in the Moonshae Isles, so be it for them. As long as they'll be able to live. That's it. And their future generations will also get to live. That's kind of where they're at right now. Like, it's so hard to just if we stay at the north with all the ice and nothing there, nothing lives, I would rather be the villain somewhere else on another land as long as I can survive. And my future generation, my children, grandchildren, and so on will survive. Right? And then hopefully they can turn that around, make peace with the people and all that stuff, and be able to live their life to the fullest. Right? So that's why I know these when they started out here in the Moonshaes, when they sailed here to the Moonshaes, they're not really good people. Like the Northlanders that came here, they're pillaging villages, burning homes, killing people, killing innocent people. But you start to learn the reason behind that. It's still not good, guys. It's still not good. But you start to learn about why they're doing it, right? Like they've been put on pushed into a corner. There's nothing else they can do, and yeah, that's why they did what they did. And now there's peace between the folk and the Northlanders, but these guys are trying to bring back the old times, and that's where we have problems. So we have Dress, Jotunhammer, which is a high-ranking member of the Guardians of the North. He believes that Northland culture needs to be preserved. Don't fully agree on hating the folk and does not know Scory's plan. Then you have Enga. Enga is a small farming village in Narham. Okay. We have that. Small farming village. And its primary produce are apples, sheep, and horses. There's a stone circle nearby, but no moonwell. And then we have Narham, the northern region of Alaron, separated from Caladir to the south by the Fairheight Mountains. Come to a majority of the Northland people on the island. It is steep, rocky, cloudy, rainy, and harsh. Okay. We have more. All right, we have more. So we have Haldis Swiftfeet Ulfsdotter. Ulfsdottir. Right. I googled. I watched like 3 YouTube videos of how you say, because if it's first son, right? Like there's one here, Borson, right? Which is easy, but I watched like pronunciations for like the daughter, and it's like they pronounce the daughter part, the Dotter part, as like doctor. That's the closest I can get to it. There's more. There's a bit more inflection there that I can't do, but that's the best that I can mimic when it comes to pronouncing it. So, yeah, Haldis Ulfsdottir. That's what we have. Borson sounds like fatherless name because it literally like son of a boar. Oh, right. You know, that might be it, or we'll see. We'll see. So we have that, and then I didn't. So who is Swiftfeet heir to Jarl Ulf Helmudson? All right. Aware of her position, her blunt directness and warm camaraderie is well known. Very competitive, especially with long distance running. And then we have Scory Borson, the main antagonist in this trilogy. A worshipper of Yenogu, leader of the Gardens of the North cult, lover of Northland culture, but born of folk blood and exiled for past deeds. What? That is crazy. Okay. That's a great description, but so like Scory's parents are folk, like native folk. Right? Let me see. Brought in by Northlander, brought in. Oh, right, because years ago, so Bryn, who is a folk, killed a man and he was banished. So as a folk, he was banished. And then the Northlander raiders took him in. And then he changed his name to Scory Borson. All right. Got it. Got it. Nice. So, wow. Like, I'm all for bringing back the old Northland tradition of killing, pillaging, and stuff, bloodshed and violence. But then, I'm not a Northlander. Or at least not born as a Northlander. Right? He's a Northlander at heart. I'm going to copy paste the whole thing because I think I need that. Okay. This is great. All right, the series. Wow, we also have a summary of the series. I think this is good. Format wise. Moon 5-1 Bloodlust Rising is the first part of the Tide of Blood trilogy. In this trilogy, the characters deal with the consequences of the demonologist Scory and his alliance with a Fey giantess from the Isle of Oman. Got it? And then is this a typo? I think this is a typo or not a typo. In Moon 5-1 Bloodlust Rising, the characters learn that a large group of gnolls with demon allies are ready to raid the fiefdom of Narham. And 5-2 Bloodlust Contain deals with the general of the Horde, the Fomorian Shield Maiden, Keolan Ni Brianin, and her lieutenants. The characters discover the true culprit behind the trouble on the Isle of Alaron, which brings the characters to the third part, Bloodlust Tempered. Here, it is assumed that the characters will play the trilogy in order. For those who already played 5-2 and 5-3, there will be a small change. A few small changes are in order. The Guardians of the North are non-corrupted remnants of their organization seeking absolution for the sins of their former leaders. And the Gnoll Raiders are remnants of the army. Alright, so if we didn't play it in order, that's what happens. Got it. Adventure overview. How is this gonna flow? Introduction. Introduction is 45 minutes. That's long for introduction. Let's read what happens here. The adventures begin in the town of Narham as they're recruited by Haldis to investigate the trouble inland. Negotiations are interrupted by Guardians of the North ready to test the mettle of the adventurers. Afterwards, the characters are directed to the hamlet Enga, where they listen to long-winded farmers discussing recent events and receive the clues they need to start their investigation. So I think the other day we were talking about when to use the term adventure, characters, and players, right? Here you can see that they started with the term adventurers because, again, you're telling a story like what happened in this part of the adventure, and then they switch to characters all of a sudden, right? So it's easy to get confused with that. So here, again, if you're giving instruction to your dungeon master that this is what's gonna happen in introduction, then you just use characters. If you're telling a story about what's happening in that part of the adventure, then you use adventures. Anyway, next one. Part 1. 60 minutes. The adventurers find a gnoll outpost of an abandoned dwelling, Scory's old home, unknown to the adventurers. Wow, okay. A fight breaks out and a second wave of opponents arrive. The characters meet the Guardians of the North and a plan is put into motion to stop the raid. Okay. Part 2. Working with the locals and the Guardians of the North, the adventurers set up traps, find information on the raiding party, and then they wait. And then on part 3, the plan comes together as the raiding party comes to attack. Gnolls with support from Fomorians and demons try to break through. And after that happens, we get a conclusion as the result of the raid are revealed. Multiple groups agree that the stronghold for the raiders must be found and broken. Okay. If you are playing this adventure and you need an adventure hook for your players, for their characters, then you can use these adventure hooks provided by this adventure. A call to action. The Jarl of Narham is aware that his people are under duress. Before I continue reading, Jarl of Narham. So before, and I think we saw this in 4th edition in the Living Forgotten Realms adventures when we were reading those. the leader of a group, like a clan or a tribe of Northlanders, is called king, right? When that change, when the Northlanders and the folk basically brokered peace and all kind of pledged their allegiance to the High King. And now, instead of Jarl, instead of King, we now call the leader of like a Northlander tribe or clan, we call them Jarl instead. So that's how it has changed. So it is a pretty, if you're talking to a Jarl, it's a very powerful person that you're talking. It's like the leader of a large community, a large group, or probably even like a city, or like not even a city, like a whole area in the Moonshae Isles. It's called the Jarl. So uh, it's a little bit of um, trivia there. So anyway, going back, the Jarl of Narhelm is aware that his people are under duress. Near the village of Enga, livestock and farmers are disappearing from their homes are being burned down. The Jarl and his daughter Haldis have put out a call for seasoned adventurers and heroes to come to their Jarldom and help resolve the root cause of these pains. The Jarldom of Gnarhelm. There you go. That's it. Okay, I finally got it. So we got the Kingdom of Caladir, and then you have the Jarldom of Narhelm. Both exist in the Isle of Alaron. There. Uh, Northland and the folk. Adventurers who call the region their home or have worked in the region before are aware of a new group, the Guardians of the North, created to preserve the culture of the Northlands. Some of the folk are uneasy, including High King Darred. As tensions continue to rise, those with a connection to this region might feel duty bound to stay in Narhelm and help stabilize the situation. It must really suck if you're High King Darred, right? Like there's so many things going on in the Isle of Alaron. It has so many problems. So you have the issue with the dwarves, right? Being attacked by orcs and fae. And then you have the gnomes also asking for help from Fairheight range because the dark fae is kind of attacking them. And then south of Alaron in Kaitis, you have the Omnians led by Lady Erliza Darsin, making this scam for, protection scam for traveling merchants, right? Or else you get killed if you use the High King's Road, or, get your goods stolen unless you pay a fee. And then now you have the Northlanders having this new group that wants to preserve like the old evil, like the wrong stuff that the Northlanders have done, and they're trying to correct. And these guardians, quote unquote guardians, wants to bring it back. Man, too, and that I feel bad for the High King, and that's just in Alaron. They don't even know what's going on in Gwyneth, in Moray, in Oman, where you have like the Queen of the Fomorians, and all the North Isles where more Northlanders live. So, wow, it's crazy. Faction contact. If you are defenders of the Earth Mother, a local druid has not received a message from her old teacher Carwin, the druid who maintains the shrine of the Earth Mother at Enga. The party is asked to check on her, and we give her player handout 1 in Appendix 3. Okay. Actually, let's read that player Handout 1 in Appendix 3. Okay. A seagull with a slip of paper tied to its leg descends near you, squawking and dancing until the note is removed. Sibling. Our contacts among the local authorities have informed us you are offered a job investigating the village of Enga. The lack of news from my old teacher Carwin tending the shrine of the Earth Mother near Enga worries me. If you decide to accept the mission, please check up on her to make sure she is okay. Thanks, a sister. Okay. Noted. On that will help you. Why not? So let's start with the introduction. Chewing the fat. Okay. I'm excited. I want to learn more. I'm going to be mispronouncing words left and right here, but I'm ready. I want to learn more about the Northlanders. For some reason, am I evil? For some reason, I like the villains, or at least like villains that have like a good backstory, like chat mentioned, or once you know why or how they like the reason they became like that, like the reason for their fall and becoming evil, that's where my heart just starts rooting for for the villains, which is bad, I guess. But you know, it's not like I don't like it when it's you have a villain that's just let's say you know, a deity just summons this evil creature here and then lay waste to the land and all that stuff, right? A Captain Planet villain, right? But when you have like someone that, you know, I made a mistake in the past, I tried to correct it, I tried to repent, but then, you know, I wasn't given a chance. Or every time I tried to repent, I tried to change my ways, things happen and screws me over and over and over until I have no choice but to accept what I have become, which is a villain, you know, something like that, a monologue like that. And then that's why no need for justification if the villain is Paulg or pretty. Right. Paulg means handsome, right? So if I guess, yeah, that's why unfortunately there's not a lot of NPC art here, so we won't know. But yeah, if our villain is like Sephiroth, it doesn't matter if you screw up like Sephiroth's backstory. If it looks like Sephiroth, heck yeah, we're gonna root for Sephiroth, right? But yeah, that's why I'm kind of rooting for the Northlanders. Like in the Moonshae Isles, I'm more of like my heart kind of goes more with the Northlanders instead of like the folk, like the original folk, like folk settlers, because I don't know. I feel like they had to become evil because they have no choice, and now they're trying to change, make things better. But then people like, you know, what's his name? Uh, People like Scory keeps messing it up, right? Sephiroth did nothing wrong. Exactly. Like, just wants to be with Genova and, you know, just merge with her and bring like a meteor here to the planet and restart the planet, right? Because we all suck. So, agree. Right. Who else is like a handsome or pretty villain? Sashomaru from if you watch Inuyasha, right? And that one has a good backstory too. Like, not supposed to be evil too. Like, just my brother, right? Ozymandias, yes, like the pretty boy from Watchmen, yeah, that one. For some reason, I'm thinking about. He's not a villain. So Shomaru's not a villain. Of course. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Of course, Sesshomaru is not a villain. Uh, of course, right? Uh, just misunderstood. Yeah, I was wrong. But yeah, let's see. Let's go back and read this. I feel like man, I don't think. Let's see if I can talk to Savannah. The other Savannah Houston McIntyre is the other Moonshae Isles coordinator for Baldwin Games. But I don't think Adventures League will approve if I make like, or if we make like a storyline where it's all about the villains, right? Because Adventures League, the organized play system for D&D 5th edition, is all about being heroes, right? And even if I want to tell like a story of like the villains and this is what happened, like um what's a good um example here? My Hero Academia. So there's like an arc there where where it's all about the villains, right? If I go something similar to that route, writing adventures connected to like the villains, how they became the villain, why are they villains, like, and how do they survive being like that, like the choices that they make when they kill people or they burn houses, is that because, like, what's the reason behind it? And if I write like a series of adventure that kind of explains all of that, that means the adventurers kind of have to side with the villains to see what's going on. Because if you're the enemy, like if you're the enemy of the villain, you're not really gonna be able to understand what they're going through, right? You just kind of encounter them when your paths cross. But if you're with them together and you see what they go through on a daily basis and the decisions that they made as to why they chose the path of evil, I don't think Adventures League will approve that. But you never know. I just have to find a way to properly pitch that, because that will be awesome, right? We are the bad guys. And at one point, AL wanted its heroes to abduct babies in a module, yo. Real? Which one is that? I think I remember that, but yeah. I know there were some questionable adventures. Oh, the assault. Yeah, right. I remember now. Assault of Mitnantar. Um, but oh, not Assault of Mitnantar. Assault of Miramedia. Is it? That's the name, right? The season 3 something. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. That's what I want to write. Something that makes you not relate, but makes you connect to the villains, and then go you start to go like Anakin versus Kenobi kind of thing, where you have a monologue or like dialogue of you're supposed to be the chosen one kind of thing, because you were able to build on that relationship with that villain. That's what I want to write. How I'm gonna write that, how I'm gonna make my my storyline coordinator agree to that, we'll see. But if that happens in the Moonshae Isles, you've heard it here first. That is related. Empathy for the villain goals is so good. It is, yeah, it is. But we had to find a way that the adventures will not become evil in those series of adventures. If I decide to make that. Yeah. A goblin story where you heroically save your tribe from the goblin slayer. There's something like that. Um, man, am I gonna reveal that? I guess I am gonna. I can reveal it here. I want to pitch a story where in the Moonshae Isles, because you have the Great Gark, which is the Goblin King, where I want to pitch like a holiday special adventure where uh the goblins are kind of like the working elves of Santa, just making toys. So you have these group of goblins in a cave making gifts, trinkets and stuff. But then group of adventurers just keep on going to this cave and looting everything, killing everyone, right? And just basically bullying the goblins and taking all of their stuff. So now the goblins hire adventurers to stop another group of adventurers that's been kind of like, you know, trying to get these goblins to so that the goblins can create the gifts that they want. Santa is a slave. No, 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 no. Like these goblins want to make stuff, right? Or I guess we could make it kobolds. We'll see. Um, but that's one idea that I have. Um, Jack Frost is the one to send you on this mission. And of course, Jack Frost has to be like really good looking. Instead of like short hair, he has like Sephiroth hair as well. And a long, long coat. So that he looks cool. Uh, Kobolds will make sense since they are thinkers. Yeah, but I'm not sure if it'll make sense in the Moonshae Isles because we're not sure yet if there are a lot of kobolds in the Moonshae Isles. Anyway, going back to our adventure here, let's continue reading. Where are we? Yeah, so introduction. We're just into introduction. Farmers in the Jarldom of Narhelm, have gone missing. And us, the characters, are tasked to find the source of the issue in this region. Once they have learned what they need, they can move on. So we have steep hills, storm-ravaged cliffs, vegetation is sparse but hardy, stormy skies. We have that dim light during heavy downpours. And then we have sea spray, wet moss, and fresh rainwater. Small seabirds crying at each other. Okay. Go Bolds. No. Recruitment. This is where we get hired. The characters are in the harbor town of Narhelm, sometimes called Narhelm Town to differentiate it from the region of the same name, in the northern part of Alaron. That's one of the area that we circled a while ago. The exact reason for being in town is up to the characters. Regardless, each has received a personal invitation from Haldis Ulfsdottir, assumed heir of Jarl Ulf Helmudson, to discuss a potential job. The meeting is in the Lost Miner. I love the names of the taverns. Like, always cool. All right. The Lost Miner. Minor, not minor, right? Like, not Minor. No, the Lost Miner. Uh, God damn it. Tavern. Tavern in Narhelm Town. Hey, Mikey, it's okay being late. It's at least you're here. The lost one, nah, yeah. I think it's just how I pronounce it. It's the Lost Miner. Yeah, the mine. Yeah, I have to really focus on that last word. The Lost Miner. Right there. Make sure you pronounce it right. Uh, the small town of Narhelm consists of narrow, muddy streets, wooden houses, and a large harbor. It reeks of old odd mix of the sea, smoke, and a faint hint of horse, huh? A reminder of its harbor nature. And hey, thank you for the follow, Mikey. The many forges and large horse market. An impressive stone keep on the northern part of the harbor dominates the town. The Lost Miner is a low building with a stone roof and walls, small windows, and sturdy doors. It is a dark, cozy place, kept warm by a large heart. This early in the morning, most customers appear to be locals enjoying a hearty breakfast served by several young dwarves. You are directed to a booth offering a good line of sight on the entrance, kitchens, and outside. Haldis has not arrived yet, but several other adventuring types have. Writing, not really a tip, but warning, I guess. Uh, Man, the dogs outside are still excited. Uh, Writing long text box, as you can see, like if I'm the dungeon master, I'm reading like these like 12 line, 13 line box text to the players. There's a chance that their mind is just gonna drift off somewhere and lose focus as to what you're saying as a dungeon master. Same thing when I'm reading it to you all. Uh, it's happening in my head. I don't even understand like what's going on like after the first paragraph. Uh, so if you're writing an adventure, you have to be careful and make sure that if you plan to write a long text box and you cannot trim it, you don't want to trim it, you have to make sure that it's very interesting. Like what you're writing will actually convince whoever's listening to stay focused and continue listening. Because if you're just there to describe, location, describe the NPC, but nothing that catches like the interest of your players, they're gonna lose focus on this and not get what you're saying. So it loses the value of having a long box text. So that's just a tip. Because me, I write I write like one column long box text because I want it to be like when I write a box text, I want it to be like a cutscene scenario. Like in a video game, it becomes a cutscene, things happen, but I do my best to make sure that it's so interesting the players will keep on listening even though it's long. You just have to be careful with that. There. That's it. Back to the adventure. Allow the characters to introduce one another. Once finished, Haldis arrives with two gladiator bodyguards. The bodyguards keep a wary eye on the characters, but they keep their distance. Haldis gives the characters a warm greeting, expressing her gratitude for accepting the invitation and offering a drink before proceeding with business. Haldis is not one for small talk and starts by offering the characters a job with a decent amount of pay, enough to reach the maximum gold on the rewards page. Got it. Okay. Livestock has been disappearing, which is not uncommon. All right, I steal a chicken here and there. Might steal your goat. That's okay. Common thieves, occasionally a monster from the mountains, but when it's like the farmer goes missing, a farm at the hamlet Enga has been burned down and its inhabitant, or no, not just the farmer, like the whole village got burned down and the villagers are missing. Obviously, something more is going on than the rabid dog or a lone ogre. And Heldis wants us to investigate and deal with whatever is causing the problems. She only got the news yesterday and she knows nothing more. She advised the characters to go to Enga and talk with Magnus Hallman. An old coot was a friend of her grandfather and is well respected by the neighbors despite his old age. Magnus petitioned the Jarl for help and should be able to provide more information. So Magnus, let's add that as an NPC. Magnus Hallman from Enga. Okay. Role-playing Haldes Ulfsdottir, also known as Swiftfeet, is a short human woman with pale freckled skin and spiky red hair. As the heir to the Jarl of Narhelm, she's conscious of her position but prefers blunt directness and warm camaraderie to politeness and faint friendship. She has a good sense of humor, a competitive streak, and a talent for archery and long distance running. Her quote, "What? 3 whole hours? I could run to that pass in half as much time and barely break a sweat." Okay. I like her. A test of mettle. When the characters are about to finish talking with Haldis, they hear commotion in front of the tavern. A quick look through the window shows a short, broad shouldered man with braided black hair, an impressive beard, and the attire of a traditional Northlander. I want to know what that looks like. What does the traditional Northlander outfit or attire look like? Yeah. He's standing on higher ground, surrounded by a dozen or so locals who are listening to him preach. So again, let's try to imagine this. Short man, broad-shouldered, with braided black hair, and then impressive beard. Kind of what I'm imagining is good looking. And then the attire of a traditional Northlander. So if we go like medieval Viking attire, okay, I can see it. Are we gonna go with like realistic, like bucket helm? Not bucket helm, just like a Viking helm, or we go like with the fantasy Viking helms with the horns that they don't really like. Viking helms don't have horns, but still, characters listening in hear praise of traditional Northland values and condemnation for the locals having grown soft. You have gone soft, my friends. Haldis looks a bit displeased and gladly explains that the man, Scory Borson, leader of the Gardens of the North, a cult dedicated to Tempest. And see Appendix 2 for details. We'll read that later. Scory wears a ring of mind shielding, which is good. That means we can't detect thoughts or anything like that. We can't telepathically communicate unless Scory lets us do that as well. If the characters want to interact, Haldis tries to stop them, saying they might need the adventurers to look into the cult later on and prefers them not to draw too much attention to themselves from its leadership. Before the characters can go outside, though, 5 of the cult's followers enter the tavern. And, excuse me, I think we should drink. I have like KFC delivered here, and one thing that annoys me with KFC here in the Philippines is, again, the companies here are trying to reduce like the use of plastic, but then they use this plastic lid, whatever. See, so there's like plastic here. It's not lid. So they remove the plastic lid and replace it with this plastic thing that's kind of glued to this paper cup now. So now what you have to do is, if especially it's gonna be hard if you don't have like long nails, you have to separate the plastic from the glued edge of this paper cup, which most of the time I spill the drink in the process, right? Technically, it's still a plastic lid, yeah, but it's not like the normal. See, it's not the regular plastic lid, right? Yeah, it's still a lid, but I know they have something called for this, like for milk tea, right? So they have it. That feeling when they don't just let you fill up your own cup. Yeah, yeah, but that one is delivered to us. So this one is KFC getting delivered here. Yep. That's dinner. KFC. Anyway, going back, skill issue. It sounds like a me thing, right? You don't know how to remove the lid, so it looks like it's a me problem. Yeah, it is. I'm just venting because yeah, that's the only thing that annoys me. Especially, oh man, I don't know. I forgot. Does the KFC in the US have gravy? I don't think they have gravy in the US. No, because here in the Philippines, when there's chicken, there's gravy, right? And then they have the gravy cup that comes with the chicken, and it also covered in this. What? Yes, we do. Brown gravy is stand. It is. All right. All right. Our PH gravy is unique. No, yeah. But McDonald's chicken don't have gravy, right? I don't remember McDonald's chicken having gravy. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that no, in the Philippines, yeah, dude. But in the US, I don't remember it having. At least when I was there, it was a long time ago. I don't remember it having gravy, but I might be wrong. But yeah, the gravy cup that comes with the chicken for KFC here in the Philippines also has this, and then it's so hard to peel off. But yeah, it's a skill issue. It's a me thing. So I'm just venting about it. Um. Anyway, going back. Where were we? The five dudes. Where are the five dudes? Here we go. 5 of the cult's followers enter the tavern. 4 members look like traditional Northlanders with hide armor and great axes. These are berserkers. Their leader is a wiry warrior in splint armor with long braided black hair and pale skin. He's a folk veteran known as Medir. Okay. Have more. Medir. Okay. Of the Guardians of the North. In other sea countries, the gravy is mushroom gravy, which is more real gravy, but ours tastes better. Of course, ours tastes better. All right. Colonel Sanders probably stayed here in the Philippines, and this is where he came up with the gravy. I don't know, during his time as, I don't know, in the army or wherever. I'm sure he went here, and then that probably met like a Filipino dude who's good at cooking chicken, and like, you know what? Let's start making some gravy with that chicken, and that's when KFC KFC started. I think that's a better origin story for for KFC. Uh, anyway, man, we need to focus on this adventure. Medir zeroes in on the characters. He heard that Outlanders were in town and he wants to test the characters' mettle the old fashioned way through a bout of non lethal combat. Here we go. The first, I think it was the other day, the last adventure, the gnomes tried to challenge us. Now, Northlanders want to challenge us. Of course, no magic is allowed. Haldis is clearly against such waste of time, but she does not stop the characters as long as the fight remains non-lethal. Duels to the death are illegal in the Moonshaes. I did not know this. Huh. If there is a specific, I mean, sure. Uh source, right? I did I guess this is the source. But this is a law that is new to me. I mean, sure, it can be a lot of medieval settings may probably have this, but I didn't know that the Moonshae Isles followed this as well. So I'll put it here that duels to the death are illegal in the Moonshaes. You might be able, it might be that info might be useful in future adventures. If the characters refuse, Medir tries to rile them with remarks about cowardice, but he cannot force them to accept the challenge. If the majority of the characters accept, you can either run the fight normally on the square in front of the tavern. By that time, Scory is gone, or as descriptive event with skill checks to determine the result. Okay? The audience should be able to interact and influence the fight through cheating, offering advice, and cheering. Keep an eye on on the time. This is an easy encounter, but fights sometimes run longer than expected. Yep. Note that for Medir, winning or losing is unimportant. If the characters act with bravery and honor and show martial skill, then they impress him. If they use arcane magic, use trickery, or cheat, then they anger him. Remember, also, that in the Moonshae Isles, arcane magic is frowned upon. It is not that common here in the Moonshae Isles, or at least to the folk, or the common people here, the locals here in the Moonshae Isles. And when they notice divine, or like when they see divine magic, they can automatically, right, or like at least in general, the people kind of relate divine magic as blessing of the gods or blessing of the Earth Mother. Be more specific. But if you just like cast a spell, an arcane spell here out in the open, then most of the time people will just accuse you of worshiping the devil, or an evil god. And again, that's not easily accepted here. I think there's a good example of that is from MOO5-1. Remember those two kids, the twins, right? That's being bullied because they can cast spells, arcane spells. So same thing here with the Northlanders. They don't like it when they see arcane magic because for them that automatically means like, you're some sort of trick, or because again, it takes a lot to understand arcane magic or magic in general, right? But if it's like holy magic or divine magic, you automatically say, all right, this is the blessing of the Earth Mother. If it's arcane magic, then how are you able to cast fireball? How are you able to create fire out of nothing? It must be deals with the devil or something like that. So if you think of it as a godless magic, that's pretty striking when most magic is a blessing of the gods. Yeah, you got to ask, where does it come from? So yeah, exactly. So uh, this is kind of like the Northlanders' view of that. Uh, Kind of like a trickster, and again, Northlanders, based from the lore and things that I've read so far, they like it just like give it to them straight. Like uh don't go around in circles, no trickery, no ambushes or things like that. Just fight, no fight, yes or no, no maybe, or no in between. Right? That's it. Role playing Medir. How can ordinary people tell arcane from divine apart anyway? Does everyone take spell list memorization in elementary school? I have a feeling that how divine magic and arcane magic manifests in the Forgotten Realm setting is different. Like if you cast divine magic, it will have like white or something sparkles, and then if it's like arcane, it will have like red and black sparkles, something like that. Not specifically those characteristics, but it's something to that effect. Um, and or maybe they won't be able to differentiate arcane from divine, but if they see like it's a harmful spell, then they will automatically assume that it's arcane, even though there are divine, attack spells too, right? Uh, Probably who they see casting it. If it comes from a shaman or druid, was going to ask twice. But if it comes from like Joseph the shepherd's son, then eyebrows goes, all right, okay, yep. Mm-hmm. Let's end it there. Okay. Continue. Yeah, it's almost like it's in a religious country, right? If like how did this happen to you? If it's so like you get healed miraculously, you'd say, oh, probably God did this, all that stuff. But then um you go to like a witch doctor or something, and then you get healed, like, oh no, it's the work of the devil. How did that happen? um well. Role-playing Medir. Medir is tall, warrior man, long black hair, pale skin. He's young, proud, and certain of his own skills. He dislikes obvious city folk and arcane spellcasters, except bards, and respects warriors, especially the more outdoor type. Oh man, I'm getting hiccups again. Especially the outdoor types. He's loud, boisterous, but it's mostly a bluff. He's scared of the characters, but he doesn't want to trouble with the authorities. Yeah. And it's mostly like why do people just assume that at least in the Moonshae, like arcane is connected to like evil deities or something similar? Because and same here with like in real life, if the population is not educated, then they make these assumptions, right? It makes it easier for them to accept, like, here's something that I cannot explain, and I don't have the knowledge to understand what is going on. So I'm just gonna make like the easiest assumption, which is arcane spells equals evil. But if you're like in the Sword Coast, in Waterdeep, where these things are common, right? These things are used to even like light the lamps, light the lampposts in the streets and things like that. Uh, it's common to have like spellcasters, sorcerers, wizards, and all, and the the knowledge of casting a spell and forming the weave, the separate between divine and arcane. Then people are more educated, so they know these things. But what I'm trying to say is the lack of education is kind of what makes these kinds of culture exist. Like hate things that they don't know. And then, since the Moonshae Isles is so far or separated from the Sword Coast, this is the culture that we have here. Uh, I didn't get that feeling for Moonshae that arcane equals evil deities, because we know that evil deities have divine magic. It's more that they don't know it's from good or evil deity because it's sourceless, which means it's unknown and therefore unforgettable people. I think where's this? I read it somewhere, I forgot. But yeah, um we might need to go back. I forgot. It's probably not in the adventure. I read it probably somewhere on a wiki or probably a different source material. But yeah, like it says there that yeah, if you're casting like magic, arcane magic, they like the local folk just kind of connects it with the devil. That's it. Or like it's evil magic, something like that. That's why it's frowned upon. But I forgot where I read that from. Uh, Lack of understanding breeds suspicion whether we're talking about magic or normal mysteries in life. Oh, brother. There's more to that, you know? Uh, Things you see in social media and everything. Oh man, if you lack the knowledge and lack a way of knowing how to understand these things, which one to read and which one not to read, this topic can go like for hours. But we're gonna go back here and try to finish this adventure. Um, so if we fight, these are some adjustments. So we're gonna skip that. If we accept the challenge and we win, then Melder gives us a potion of heal giant strength. Nice. And after the fight development, ask the players to write down how their characters interact with Medir and the Guardians of the North. Medir talks with his fellow cultists, and the party's disposition should impact how the Guardians treat them in Moon 5-2 and Moon 5-3. Oh, okay. So do I am I nice to the Guardians or am I not nice? I like this. I like this interaction with this faction, and then how we um, deal with them with that faction impacts what happens in Moon 5-2 and Moon 5-3. Okay. If at least one of the characters has earned the respect of Meldir, he informs them that his friend dressed Jotunhammer and a handful of guardians are also going to Enga. Meldir gives the characters a token with the same rune of friendship on it. The two groups might be able to work together against a common enemy. This is what I want. I like this. I like where this is going. Once the characters have dealt with the Guardians, assuming they accepted Halda's mission, they're free to buy supplies before heading inland to the village of Enga. And the trip takes about a day, and the characters arrive in the evening. Let's look at the map. Is Enga here? Let's kind of remove all these things. Let's try to zoom. Let's go up. That's too much. So we have the kingdom, the Jarldom of Narhelm, and then we have Narhelm town. And then Enga is how far did they say? The trip takes about a day and the characters arrive in the evening. Alright, so a day's travel from Narhelm. Is it in the map? Or no, I don't think it's here. Death's Door. Okay. No, it's not here. There's a moon well here. And that is a day of travel inland. So I'm assuming south. So probably somewhere in this area. Yeah, it's not here. Okay. Oh, Wild Spray. I missed you. Okay. And that is it. Okay. Stay a while and listen. The trip to Enga is uneventful. And when we arrive, this is what happens. Having received compensation and details from the authorities in Narhelm, you find yourselves in a very long conversation on the porch of an old farmstead house. Yar Ulf is finally noticing our issues, a Northland man. Beard and hair gray but still braided, shakes his tankard happily at the person in the chair to the right. The guards of the north are waking that Northland blood. Oh. Starting. Bah, those guardians are just making the more nervous folk worried. The folk woman sighs, her stark white hair cut short and simple. We've integrated enough. Poor Marta and the others should be our concern, not our past. Okay, I like this. Something here. By the way, Stay a While Listen is another video game reference. Really? Which Diablo game is it? Is that Deckard Cain? Because I only played like Diablo 3 onwards. Yeah. When I was a kid, story time. When I got my PlayStation, my mother told me that I can play any games as long as you know, they're not Resident Evil or something similar to that. I know, yeah, it's in PC, but what I'm saying is because it started there, I'm not supposed to play evil games. So I got stuck with Final Fantasy and what other PlayStation 1 games were there? Bloody Roar, Tekken, all that stuff, all JRPG stuff, Lunar Story. And as time went on, yeah, I got a computer. I can't play any games that are obviously quote unquote evil. So I can't play Diablo. So when Diablo 3 came out, and I think I'm old enough during that time, I just bought it and started playing it. Yeah, there. So yeah, while people were enjoying Diablo 1 and 2, I'm playing JRPGs. That feeling when their filter didn't do anything to stop you from getting crazy stuff. Bloody Roar is base. Yeah, that's my favorite fighting game. Yeah, one of my favorite fighting game. Yeah, I love Bloody Roar. Going back again, man. There's a lot of distractions here. Where were we? The farmers. The farmers. The farmer on the left is a Northland man, Magnus Holman, well into his 80s. Oh, this guy's old. He's going blind, callous hands, wrinkled skin show the years of hard labor and fighting he has done. he's excited to see some of the more nuanced Northland traditions and culture returning, as they have been lost over time to the mingling of Northland and folk cultures. Wow. Okay. The farmer on the right is the folk woman, Keira Byrne, a few years younger than Magnus. The scars running down her neck to her missing arm are a reminder of past fights with lycanthropes. Ooh. Was she from Moray? Or were there like lycanthrope attacks here in Alaron? She's nervous about the Guardians of the North and fears they might destabilize the region further. What I don't understand, or what I'm trying to understand, is that there are Northlanders who want to see more of their traditions and cultures to come back. But what do they mean? Are they talking about like the pillaging and killing and burning houses? Is that what they want to return? Or is there like a certain um behavior or a certain tradition that that's not harmful that they want to return, you know like calling their Jarl King again, or settling disputes with duels, something like that. Like what do these Northmen want? Like what do they mean when traditions and culture returning? Because the traditions and culture from the past, as experienced by Kara here, for example, is all well, not Kara because she got attacked by the lycanthrope, but the past is about going to war with other groups of people. So is that what they want to happen again? I, I, I don't really understand that. Because in this part, in like the previous part, we see Scory preaching, but nothing specific really. So that's what I wanna know. Like what's going on here? Like what do the Northlanders want? Like which traditions, which activity or which behavior do they want? Like the Northlanders have lost and they want it back. All right. The situation. Both farmers are happy to continue talking about the recent events in their area once the characters have introduced themselves and explain why they're here. Formalities and small talk are well respected and enjoyed in Narhelm. The following bullet points are topics to the news and news the two might bring up. Okay. Hopefully we get something here. Jarl Ulf, Helmundsson's daughter and the first in line for the throne, Haldis Swiftfoot, Ulf's doctor. So Magnus will say her feet move as swift and straight as the arrows from her bow, and she's not one to shy away from a conversation. Kara will tell us that the redhead is going to give her father endless headaches soon. Though, if she doesn't learn how to fake a smile, okay. The Guardians of the North and their leader Scory Borson. Alright, so what do they know about Scory? Scory's fair skin hides his true heritage. Scory's fair skin hides his true heritage. The man is doing great things. Even the authorities know that. Okay? The authorities don't do much these days, and I trust the second in command dress over Scory. Okay? Both Magnus and Kara, not Kara, are initially reluctant to discuss the recent disappearances with outlanders. Okay. The emotional wounds are still fresh, and both our old warriors were unable to do as much as they would have liked. Magnus and Kara both took measures to defend their animals when other farms were attacked and when people started to disappear. They did their best to train those they could and help set up traps and other defenses for those unable to fight and unwilling to move to a safer location. Okay? One of their good friends, Martha, oh no, Martha, where did you go? Has disappeared. Martha's farm was buried to the ground and with various animals and monsters tracks were found around it. Magnus and Kara fear the worst. It's either Kara or Kira. I think it's more like Kara, right? Yeah, I think it's. Let's go with Kara. Magnus and Kara are thankful to both Jarl Ulf, Helmundson, and the adventurers. They plead for the characters to go to one of the first farmsteads further into the countryside. They have tried some investigation of their own and have heard strange laughter and shapes moving in the area as recent as last night. I thought it was some lycanthropes at first, but there was no wolf fur to be found. Magnus found some thinner dog hair and thinks it might be another beast-like creature. And then Magnus says, "Keep your wits about you and your silver weapons ready." Yeah? They have not heard from the druid Carwin in 2 days, but they're not overly worried. She might be old, but she knows how to stay out of trouble. If the characters want to check up on her, the shrine is in a short distance past the burned down farm. Hey. Development. The characters have time to prepare before heading out. And knowing that there will be like beast-like monsters or lycanthropes, that's why you need silvered weapons. Because lycanthropes are immune to normal damage. Okay. That is, or at least to weapons that are not silvered. Non-magical weapons that are not silvered. There you go. If silver weapons or ammunitions are needed, both farmers are willing to lend some to the party. Ammunition is expected to be used and unable to be returned, but the rest of the equipment is from their defense stores, and having it returned means they can outfit farmers and other locals in the future. So we get a battle axe, hand axe, silvered spear, silver daggers, silver short swords, and silvered arrows and bolts if you're using crossbow. And then we can proceed to part 1. Holy crap, that is a long introduction. Yeah, we got distracted a few times, but that was long. 3 pages. A lot of things happen in an introduction. And then we'll get to part 1. Okay. Let's go. Out of nowhere. I love that. When you're a writer, or at least for adventures, a lot of us, will like to put puns as much as possible in the things that we write, and most of them get placed in like the title, and it's hard to resist. That's the thing. Like after a few years, you realize, why did I do that? Right? Like, why did I use that phrase, or why did I use that pun? It's cringe, but during the time when you're writing it, it's like you're like, oh, I'm a genius. Like, this is perfect. Out of nowhere, it's perfect. But I can feel like after like 3 years, 4 years, I'm like, ew, I don't even know who that person was, or thinking that out of nowhere is a good title. But for me, I think it's awesome. But yeah, sometimes for adventure writers, it's hard to resist like making reference to like a movie or a chapter or a line, a famous line, or just putting puns. Yeah, if you put your pun appreciation hat on, it's pretty damn good. It is. It is. Um, we have a quote. What do we have here? We will kill, and we will eat, and he will eat, and he shall be, and we shall be, and be, and be, and be. Noel Visionary. I love that quote. That is like some cultist uh you know quote right there. Like that's what you will say, or like while you're worshiping Yenogu, this is what you tell people. This is like a villain line right here. uh, all I know is child me was happy writing cringe content while present me knows better but doesn't write at all. Oh no. Yeah. Do you want the cringe you that is productive, or the more knowledgeable and high wisdom you but less productive, right? Embrace the cringe. Yeah, return to cringe. I think yeah, that's it. You know, a lot of people will like cringe stuff, so might as well. Um, Fangs bared. The setting sun breaks through the clouds and bursts, greeting you as you arrive. Parts of the farmstead have been burned down, and various tracks litter the ground. You know what? We didn't talk about it. Probably we need like an emo emote. Just for should we have that? Like one side hair. Like bangs to one side. Emote, yeah. A werewolf that has like bangs to one side. We can probably do that. Um the characters have time to check 4 of 6 locations in the farmstead before the Knoll hunting party returns. Before then, they're only living. What? Before then, they're the only living creatures in the area. There you go. So we have the farmhouse. Various signs of battle mar the inside of the farmhouse. In a pocket of bloodied pair of pants is a note written in Abyssal, which is the language of the demons. Raise the ground of that old home and eat the weak as your god commands, Rugok. Then eat the messenger as a treat from us to you. A signature with a giant rune, twisted and impure. Wow. Okay. But Paul hair wear. MOO5-1. Pigsty. Oh no. That's not how you pronounce that. Pigsty. There you go. Why did I say pigsty? Pigsty. No pigs survive, and very little of each creature is left behind. Whatever ate them was viciously hungry, and the scraps show evidence of claws and fangs at work. Sheep barn. One sheep seems to have survived. Terrified and wounded, a successful skill check can calm it down and find dozens of arrowheads lodged into the wool in its wool and skin. The arrowheads are crudely made but vicious in use. Okay, and then you have the hayloft. Partial remains of a male human can be. Wow, this is getting dark. All right. Partial remains of a male human can be found, an arm and hand lodged into the hay, and still clutching a sickle. Oh, dude, that's just a farmer here. Okay. The infield, multiple humanoids have died in this field, and the evidence points to an intelligent creature doing a ritual or divination addressed to a demon. Okay. It's okay. We have dark vision. Yeah. Okay. I think you get inspiration for that. Your inner cringe is coming back. uh Outfield. All right, so the infield and outfield. The amount of devastated terrain and makeshift burrows suggests a large band of creatures making temporary shelter. Bits of cave flora litter the area, indicating that their main hideout is underground. Once 4 checks have been made, those with a passive perception spot shadows moving in the distance, giving characters a round to prepare for battle against a Null Flesh Gnawer, Null Fangs of Inogu, and a Null Pack Lord. Can you fight all of them? Now I know why the dogs are barking. It's not because we're gonna be in Moray with the lycanthropes, is because of the demon lord Yinogu. And they're all here either celebrating his appearance or afraid that he's part of the adventure. Anyway, a cacophony of laughter echoes across the field, and off the cliffs and hills around you. In the distance, multiple furry figures charge forward, weapons drawn and makeshift barriers in front. Gnolls have descended on the farmstead. Do you think that these, like the locals of the Moonshae Isles, will be able to differentiate like gnolls from lycanthropes? Right? Like with so gnolls are kind of like bipedal creatures that look like hyenas, right? But if you get like how it's described here, you have like a furry monster figure. You can just easily tell, like, say that it's a lycanthrope, right? Can gnolls be lycans? I don't know. But will that they can hear all the yapping gnolls? But will that be common knowledge in the Moonshae Isles? That's what I want to know, right? Like, is it common knowledge? Like what monsters are that common people should know, like goblins, kobolds, orcs, ogres, but gnolls, is that also common here? I want to know that. Can gnolls be lycans? I would think so. So if I'm a gnoll that got lycanthropy, from a gnoll I transform into a werewolf. I don't know. And then you return to your normal form as a gnoll. Yeah. No, but I was saying, right? There's like similarities in terms of build, and since you're both like furred monsters standing on 2 feet with sharp teeth and everything, it's just like easy to mistake a gnoll for a lycanthrope. Which what the farmers from the previous part did, right? Because they were telling us to bring our silver weapons and stuff. They even gave us some silvered equipment. Anyway, so there's a fight. We're gonna skip this. How the gnolls fight, we're gonna skip that as well. And then once the characters defeat the final gnoll, more battle can be heard in the distance, and a few Guardians of the North come into view. Oh, they're kind of fighting the gnolls as well. Three gnolls move across the barren fields in a dead sprint, quickly followed by a half dozen dark-haired humans. Excuse me, with bows drawn. A quick salvo of arrows down the gnolls, and one of the victors confirmed their demise. The others nod and quickly move back into the hills. Oh, okay. The Guardians of the North, led by Dress Jotunhammer, are eager to have a meeting with fellow monster slayers. That's us. But they're needed to continue to push against the gnolls. If we don't move to interact with the remaining Guardians, he approaches them instead. Okay. A meeting of the minds. Having just killed some gnolls, a high-ranking member of the Guardians of the North does not waste time to discuss feats and future plans. A gloved hand reaches forward in earnest from what looks to be the head of the group of archers. His beard tucked into his clothing, a smile breaks out as he gruffly introduces himself. Dress Jotunhammer, Guardians of the North. It's great to see others keeping the land safe from the likes of gnolls and their demon consorts. Okay. As a high-ranking member of the Guardians, Dress Northland heritage is on full display. Furred leathers, well-maintained weapons and gear, and a bushy braided black beard hide the maturity of his skin, save his smiles and his eyes. And then he can tell us the following, or these are some points of discussion. Dress is grateful that the characters took care of the Gnoll Pack and is eager to hear of other exploits or work that they have done around the Moonshaes. While he patiently listens to tales about other lands, they don't really interest Dress. Okay? He's only concerned about protecting the Moonshae Isles. Each character who shakes his hand must make a athletic skill, as Dress' handshake is very firm. If at least one character succeeds on this contested skill check, Dress nods in approval and focuses his question and discussion with, you know, that Armstrong handshake in Full Metal Alchemist, right? That one, that's what I'm imagining right now. Like, you have to do that, and if you succeed on the athletics check, then, you know, Dress eyes just kind of sparkles and has like knows that you can be respected. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing there. If there are fellow Moonshae Island adventurers in the party, Dress asks if they approve of the Guardians and if they have worked with other cultural or defense groups. While not a large concern of his, he wants to ensure that the people are aware of the good deeds that the Guardians have done. Finding lost animals, spreading good faith, teaching old traditions, and aiding civilians and killing monsters. Yeah. If the characters found the note in the farmhouse and show it to Dress, his eyes light up. Scory was recently showing me how to read this filthy script. Give me just a moment. A minute or so later, Dress is able to provide a translation if the characters cannot do it themselves. Alright, that's good. Because you have something here written in Abyssal. And what if you have no character that can read or understand Abyssal? At least there is, mechanically, there's an out. So you have an NPC that can translate it for you. Okay. And then after a few questions and answers, a hunting horn blows 3 times in quick succession, and Dress' mood immediately sours. That is not a good sound. My friends have found more trouble and are leaving to defend those who need aid. If we don't offer to help, Dress asks us bluntly to do so, his mood souring further. The Guardians and the adventurers have been unable to find a hole in the ground that the gnolls call their home. But they're getting close, so we're trying to find the base, the lair of these gnolls. Any aid you can provide will be appreciated, though you should go to Magnus and Kara. Their farm is well defended, and the locals will flee to it when they hear the horns. Magnus and Kara have taught me a great deal. There's no time to check upon the missing druid. The farmers need aid. Although one or two characters skilled in stealth should probably be able to check upon her if that is what they want. At this point, the hunting horn bellowed 3 times once more, and Dress turns to leave, nodding to the characters before running off. I will see you tonight if we all survive. Damn gnolls. Not a clue where they came from. Alright, let's find some clues. Dress suggestion is the best plan forward. Magnus and Kara need help defending their home, and their knowledge keeps others safe on their land. And we must move swiftly to prepare for the incoming trouble. In addition, characters had at least one successful contested strength check, didn't act disrespectfully to Dress or the Guardian's name, and immediately offered aid to the land and its people. Dress calls them a dear friend of the Guardians. Encourage the players to write it down as they interact and could affect their future dealings with the Guardians in MOO5-2 and MOO5-3. Okay. Wow. Is this just me, or I feel like the adventures are getting longer? Right? Like before, in like a 2-hour time, we're done with the adventure. Now we're just kind of like halfway. I need more stuff. Okay. Okay. Part 2. If you build it, feel like this is a reference somewhere. All right. Fun to get sidetracked a little. So yeah, we got a lot. We got sidetracked a lot in this stream. But all right, let's continue. Where is this from? Field of Dreams. Oh, okay. It is a busy hour or so of preparations at the farmstead of Magnus and Kara. Would people like it if I if I write an adventure and then all like the title is like a reference to like Minecraft or Roblox, right? Or Fortnite. I don't know. Will that get me to have more younger audience to play Dungeons and Dragons? If I have those references. It is a busy hour or so of preparations at the farmstead of Magnus and Kara. The gnolls will be vicious when they arrive, and the traps must be ready. Okay. Preparations and defenses. So now that we've fought some gnolls, we're going back at the farm of Magnus and Kara and help defend them because the rest of Anga just kind of got burned down. So let's protect like whatever's left here. And the faces of many Narhelm civilians greet you as you make your way to Magnus and Kara. Bare necessities and precious belongings sit lightly on their backs as they make their way into the few shelters on the farmstead. One older man turns and looks at you, eyes pleading, "Please, keep us safe." Back at the farmstead, the characters have exactly 30 minutes to prepare for the invasion. Magnus and Kara do not waste time with the greetings, instead giving a detailed list of defenses that can be finished or weak points that needs to be reinforced. Appendix 1C shows the layout. Okay, we need to look at that. Actually, let's look at that now. Appendix 1C. This is where we've like things we did address. That's 1B, and then 1C. This is the farmstead of Magnus and Kara. It's not really marked, so. Oh, you know what? This map style is similar to the previous adventure, so I guess they are using like a map software for it, because the style is the same, right? Either that or it's the same artist. It's probably the same artist. But yeah, this is the farmstead. Go back to where's part 2? There you go. So what can we do in this farmstead? We can make a null bait with a history check. We'll remind the character that gnolls prey on the weak and defenseless first. Setting a beguiling trap in the pigsty would help to call the weaker off the lot. Okay. We can also make an assassin's lullaby. Kara isn't one to rest when danger is coming, but with only one arm, she needs some support. A successful skill check means that her special brew, a homemade poison, is properly created, which she uses to coat her traps and characters' weapons with wyvern poison. Dungeon's Master Guide. Let's see. Wyvern's poison. What can that do? Poisons. 257. Wyvern's poison. Injury. The poison must be harvested from a dead or incapacitated wyvern. A creature subjected to this poison must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or take 7d6 poison damage on a failed save. It's like almost a fireball worth of damage. Poison, half damage on a successful one. Okay. Okay, go back there. Wow, that's wow. Kara knows how to make poison. It's her special brew. Her special brew. And yeah, it has the same effect as a wyvern poison. And she can coat her traps and our weapons with it. Yeah, there's a lot of great poisons in the DMG, but AL has thus far limited to just basic poison. Yeah, but here you can see the NPCs are using it. And technically, we'll be able to use it since Kara will coat our weapons with wyvern poison. So, a hunter's deception. With sleight of hand, Magnus' wealth of knowledge on traps, both capture and kill prey, have not lessened over the years, but his poor eyesight impedes the work he can do. A successful skill check gives Magnus the details he needs to set up some of his more nefarious traps, killing or incapacitating unsuspecting gnolls. I don't know why it reminded me of getting sidetracked again. There's a new anime of a guy. He's a handyman that got isekai'd or got transported to like a fantasy world. so So he joins like a party of like a really powerful wizard that has like short-term memory, and then like a full armored warrior, and then like a fairy, and then you have the handyman. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that anime. And just imagine if you have a handyman in a dungeon picking locks, figuring out stuff, and just like their thieves tools, their equivalent of thieves tools is way different and way more effective than the normal thieves tools in the medieval world that this guy's in. But it's amazing. Watch that. Actually, there's a lot of amazing animes this season, like fantasy. If you're into like fantasy, medieval, isekai, or get transported to this world kind of anime fan, there's a lot. What's the title? Handyman. I know it has the handyman. Handyman. Uh, Handyman Saito in Another World. There you go. That's the name. Handyman Saito, Saitou, in Another World. Yeah, put it on Discord. Actually, if you're not part of our Discord, you should. Oh, I can't. Why can't I type? I'm not signed in. I'm not signed in on Twitch. But yeah, if you can join our Discord, you should, because whenever I cannot stream, that's where I tell everybody that I'm not available to stream. And also that's, where you can put stuff as well as we talk more about these things. What was the jungle dungeon again? I played that with Carpenter type party mate and with my Claw of Ember Hulk, and we kind of turned into Minecraft. Don't forget you got mods. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what mods do. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, mods. Yeah, tell them. What do you have? I'm not used to that. And yeah, I think Chaos Hammer, one of our mods, is gonna make some emotes for us. So I'm excited about that. What they sleep? What do? Oh boy, man, it's gonna. When are we gonna finish this adventure? Let's go back. Think it's an Ilrafon CCC. Jungle Dungeon. I'm only getting reminded of Chult stuff. I don't think I played. I know I played the Ilrafon CCCs, but I don't remember. The only thing I remember is the ships and someone's like getting married or something. That's the only one I remember. Anyway, going back. Bolster a shelter. Survival check. Or appropriate toolkit proficiency. The civilian shelter is adequately protected, but any additional work done to bolster said defenses can only increase their chance for survival and stymie the gnolls. A successful skill check makes a civilian shelter immune to damage and forces the first gnolls to try to gain entry to spend one turn attempting a what? Take two. A successful skill check makes the civilian shelter immune to damage and forces the first gnolls that try to gain entry to spend one turn attempting to gain entry. Okay. Makes a little bit more sense. All right. So they spend one turn trying to gain entry. That's basically it. Train the defenders. Persuasion. Or DM's discretion. Some of the civilians have decided to stay on the surface, wishing to fight with Magnus and Keira. A successful skill check bolsters the civilian defenders in a way that fits, making them more successful in their rebuke of the attackers. We can also do research with Arcana and Religion. And with a successful skill check here confirms that the gnolls are working with Fomorians and demonic entities, giving the characters and other defenders a chance to refine their choices before the battle. And lastly is personal preparation. This action is a catch-all. All right, if there's something else, you have a catch-all. Okay. 30-minute training, 3-second improved combat life duration. And then if we have extra time, we can do this optional missing druid, especially if we use the adventurer hook with the missing Carwin, right? The druid named Carwin. Magnus and Kara don't think to gather the nearby druid Carwin unless reminded by the party. Carwin has always kept her distance from the villagers and has disappeared from days on end. The two farmers assume she's safe but aren't opposed if one of the two characters want to go get her to help with the defenses. If we decide to get her, this count as one skill check or action per character. Rescuing her and her animals' friends can add 2 successes to the defenses. The two farmers oppose all the characters going, trying to limit it to a maximum of just 2, so split the party. But again, it's up to us to decide. So if we decide to go with this route, the directions given by the farmers are easy to follow, and you arrive at Carwin's home within 10 minutes. That's not far. It's eerily quiet. The nearby cabin has no light. There's no smoke coming from the chimney, and no sound come from the inside. A small stone circle is located on top of a grassy knoll, surrounded by several bushes. A narrow path leads to the cabin to the circle. Okay. And if we look at the cabin, it reveals that the door has been forced open from the outside with some kind of battering ram. Nobody's inside, but there are no signs of struggle either. Investigating the circle leads the party to 2 heavily wounded wolfhounds who are concealed in the bushes. These are Bark and Bite, Carwin's loyal pets. I want them. If they're alive, they will be used in the future. Where are these good boys? Where are they? I lost the name. Bark and Bite. The druid, Carwin, loyal pets. Okay. Any healing magic wakes them up, and with medicine check, it also does the same. The characters need to calm the 2 before the dogs can follow Carwin's trails from the cabin away from the main road. If questioned, they can tell that they fell asleep due to the magic melody and only woke after the character's action. Helping the dogs counts as 1 success towards the defense of the farm. Okay. How can you talk to the dogs? There's like spells that will let you communicate with animals. The dogs find Carwin's tracks automatically. Otherwise, we do survival check. The tracks are that of a 2-legged, medium-sized goat, clearly carrying something about the weight of a human. Is this a satyr? Following the tracks lead to a small clearing among a large patch of brambles. Here, they find Carwin gagged and slowly bleeding to death. Oh, he got captured while being observed by the dispassionate, shadow-infused Fitail, a satyr with panpipes. Oh, Carwin is not a satyr. Carwin was captured by a satyr. Okay. Fitail isn't here to fight. If confronted by the characters, he flees at the earliest opportunity. He always open for a conversation, though, especially with a pretty character, male or female. His attack on Carwin is nothing personal. His boss, the Fomorian, Keolan ni Brianin, asked him to accompany the Null Raiders to torture Carwin to death. Fitail knows that the Dark Fae have formed a temporary alliance with the Gnolls, although he doesn't know and doesn't care about the details. See, here we go again. I think when they mention Dark Fae, they mean Unseelie Fae. Because again, the Dark Fae are creatures from the Feydark in the Feywild that have escaped or have gone out from the Feydark. So when they say here Dark Fae, I think they're not referring to the Dark Fae creatures from the Feydark. They're referring to just you know, the evil Fae creatures that are mostly Unseelie Fae. So Fitail has a personal message to Carwin from Bryn. Nothing is forgotten, nothing is forgiven. Enga will burn and everybody within will die. Oh. Fitail knows that the message is from the human who leads the Gnolls and is responsible for forming the alliance between the Fae and Gnoll. If Carwin is rescued, she remembers an angry young man named Bryn who was banished after killing a local farmer in a fit of anger more than a decade ago. Last she heard, Bryn has joined up with the Northlander raiders. Rescuing Carwin is as simple as chasing Fitail away and untying her. She can use her own magic to heal her wounds. Interesting DM side question. When working with safety tools, how often does advances by NPCs hit your players with an "ooh, miss me with that"? Are we talking about like physical attack or hitting like I don't get it. Is it because it's 1:30 in the morning? Are we talking about hitting like romantically hitting on with characters? I don't know what I'm even thinking that. I think you're talking about combat, right? No romantic. Oh, you are talking about romantic. All right. Uh, yeah. Uh, supposedly, I guess during this time when this was created, what do you call this? Content warnings are not like a thing yet. Because now in like recent adventures, especially with AL adventures, now like in the front page, there's like a content warning, and like if there's romance involved or something like that. Uh, but without those tools or help, for me, I just kind of like check the waters. That's it. So you have this NPC that likes to mingle with beautiful looking characters. And for example, we have a beautiful dwarf character, and that player kind of bites the hook, uh, and kind of reciprocate what I'm doing, then I continue. Like, I continue that interaction between the NPC and the character. But if I revealed the characteristics of this NPC and nobody's kind of biting or nobody's interested, I move on. I move on. Like, it's not even about safety tools and what do you call this? Or that the characters are not interested or the players are not interested. It's just for me because I know that I will just waste time if I know that nobody is interested and then I continue making these and making the NPC hit or try to hit with the characters. Um, so that's just me. So I run it as is, and then if I don't see any interest, I move on right away. Yeah. So more or less, it's just like a bypass hook, and less players saying this makes me uncomfortable for you. Uh, yeah, because I'm not gonna go like uh super flirty right away, right? Like I put the my arms around your shoulder, I kiss the cheek, and something like that. No, I don't go like that right away. I just kind of do an introduction of being flirty, and if one of the players using their characters kind of bite into that, then okay, let's role play it. But um, if no one seems to be interested, I just stop there right away. Okay. Instead of doubling down, I just stop. If as a dungeon master, it's also your job to see if, yeah, sure, one of them might like having to interact with a flirty NPC, but another player might be uncomfortable watching you two, role play the scenario. So, as a dungeon master, again, it's your job to check if all your players are having fun and if you're having fun. And so you check and you do a temp check. If they're okay with it, then continue. If this is like a spotlight for this particular character, um, player two might be uncomfortable with it. So check if they're okay with what they're doing. If not, then just censor it by one level or fade to black. If they're okay, then continue. That's it. Yeah. Uh, but wait. I don't wait until somebody says this makes me uncomfortable. It's just, you know, I I I try to get a feel, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's like trying to read the players if they like what's happening or not. Because sometimes you have players who are like on their mobile, but they're enjoying the game. It's just they cannot focus 100% of the time, right? Same thing in trying to read if they're uncomfortable with the situation or not. So it's a DM skill, and asking from time to time, doing a temp check is okay. All right. A lot easier when you can read faces at a table instead of just voice over. Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah. If you're doing an online game, I know it's harder, and that's why you set that it's good if you're a dungeon master, and you can set the expectation at the beginning that this is my play style. Um, this is this kind of situations might come up, and if you're uncomfortable, these are the steps that you can do. Either message me directly on Discord, have a X card in place, or word that you can say to stop whatever's happening, like a safe word, something like that. Those things, those are the tools that you can use. But I know It's easy to say, but hard to execute. We all know that, because even if you have the safety tools in place, nobody's gonna put an X card right away. Because if they feel shy, they feel like they're ruining the fun of others, something like that, right? So, take some time, and if a player is brave enough to tell you that they're feeling uncomfortable in like a part of your game, then you should appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that, and then because at least they're trying to communicate to you, and then adjust from there. But that's just my take. Okay, that's how I would address it. Uh, yeah. Going back, what's this? We found a note because now I remember. I think it was mentioned somewhere that this is Bryn's hometown. This is Scory's hometown. That's why they're burning this place. Because he hates this place because this is where he get banished. Uh, okay. Okay. We read that part. So role playing Carwin. Carwin is an elderly woman with long braided white. Ah, they really love their braids here. Like everyone has like braided hair. Like it'll be awesome to be like a hairstylist in the Moonshae or a barber, right? Because everyone just like loves having braided hair. So, uh, she wears simple, practical clothing. She's motherly type unless angered, in which case her fury knows no ends. She's a bit of a loner, though, and can be awkward when among large group of people. Fitail is a typical satyr, except for his black fur and black pupil-less eyes. Soft spoken, cold, and calculating with no love for anything beside himself. He's a coward at heart, quick to betray his allies if it saves his skin. He has a cruel streak and enjoys inflicting pain. Okay. Okay. Rescuing bite counts as one success. Okay, you have that. We read that. And the sun begins to set when with the decisions made and plans completed. Here we go. We go to the third part. Is this the last one? I think so. I think this is the last part. 75 minutes. This one is long. It all comes down together. It all comes together as the gnolls and demons attack the would-be defenders. And then we have the first wave. Okay. Tension begins to mount. Read the following box text as to Beluzao. I forgot what they look like. What do Beluzaos look like? I think they're demons, right? But I don't know which demons are the Beluzao. How do you spell it? Bulazao. Oh, these are new monsters. From More Than Kind Presents. They look like goats, like Baphomet goats. That's what they look like. A goat-like creature. So you have that, and then you have Null Hunters, Null Fangs of Inogu, and then Null Pack Lord. Okay. The farmstead is quiet, and everyone is on alert for the first signs of the attack. Suddenly, a roaring scream of dissonant horns rend the air with their sounds and signaling the beginning of the attack. So it's just weird, right? Because these, so you have like goat people and hyena people attacking a human settlement. That's basically it, right? It's like the monsters are just like humanoid version of different animals. And then we have the adjustment here. And then after that, the first wave is deadly if no preparations were made. But if we did prepare, these are the changes. If we did one success, one Null Hunter is defeated. If two successes, then we have some enemies unconscious. If we have three successes from the previous part of the adventure, then one of the Bulazao returns to the Abyss. And 4 or more successes, the Null Pack lore is killed before combat. So it makes the encounter easier if you have a lot of successes from the previous part. Tricks of the trade, we're gonna skip that, and then we get a potion of healing after the fight. Once the first wave of enemies is cleared, give the characters 1 round to rest before going to 3B. Alright, second wave. A small respite from the Null attacks is quickly broken. More Nulls and demons emerge from the surrounding woods and begin to cheer, "Rock scan, rock scan, rock scan." The dog's barking. It feels, very immersive. Yeah. A mighty Null with a multi-balled flail steps forward to lead the Null pack. This must be Roxanne. Roxcan. And he roars in anticipation for the kill. To respond to the rallying cry, whistles are heard around the area as arrows rain down on the Nulls, keeping the main forces occupied. Roxcan charges at you, determined to break your defense. He must be brought to heel. What stats does he use? The opposing forces consist of 1 Null per party member, and the main opposition is Roxanne, a Flint? What the heck is a Flint? A Flint. This is also a new monster. Oh, a Flint is a Null, a type of Null. It's a CR9 Null monster with an aura of bloodthirst. Okay. Has a flail of chaos. Okay. What else? A Flint and a Chasme, is that how you pronounce that? To back him up. Like in the first wave, the Nulls are considered demons for the Chasme's or Casme's drone ability. The rest of the Nulls battle the Guardians of the North around the party, but don't interact in this encounter. And we have adjustments that we're gonna skip. And then development. If the character successfully defend against Roxanne, which I think we should include here. No leader and villain. If we are successful in defending against Roxanne, the Nulls break the hills to lick their wounds. Proceed to conclusion A. And we get to recover Roxanne's adamantine armor. Alright, so this is the magic item for this adventure. It's a chainmail, adamantine chainmail. If we fail, the Nulls run rampant on the farmstead, killing everyone. It is not a joyous day. No, it is not. If everyone's dead. Oh wow, failing here, you really get to feel what happens, or you see what happens. All right, so let's go with the successful outcome first. Conclusion A, Nullish Rebuke. Hellish Rebuke. We have a Nullish Rebuke. Okay. The characters are the victors. As the Nulls retreat, the characters have a chance to check on the others. Were there failures? If there were failures, the following defenders didn't survive. These results are cumulative. The first two failures aren't seen as direct result of the adventurer's action. Okay. One fail. The civilian defenders were overrun by gnolls, but they died fighting. No one blames the adventurers for this loss. Two failures. Magnus is found inside one of the farmstead buildings. Multiple enemies lay around him, a smile on his face. His shield was shattered, but his hand never let go of the battle axe. Oh no, he's gonna die there. Three fail. Some of the civilians hidden away were taken, not to be found. The survivors left the shelter. Do not speak of what transpired. And then four more failures. Kira's favorite pouch and short sword are found. Poison gnolls are the signs of the battle around it. The farmstead won't operate again. In addition to the above information, if any, the Gnoll Rebuke revealed that they're working with demons and Fomorians, and the possible location of the stronghold. Rest is required before attacking such location. Okay. Conclusion B, if it's a fail. The defense was a failure and the Gnolls have destroyed the farmstead. All the listed failures in conclusion A occur, but there's still hope for the region. The Gnoll attack showed that they're working with demons and Fomorians, and the Gnoll stronghold may have been found. Another day will dawn. Okay. And that is it. We don't fight any Fomorian. It's just mentioned here. The only Fey villain that kind of popped up is the Satyr. And then that's it. So not a lot of Fey influence yet. It's just the Gnolls happening, and then the Guardians kind of fighting with us, but kind of on the sideline. We're not really part of the encounter. And that is it, basically. This is a tier 2, a level 5 to 10 adventure, so we have a lot here. We have this, and then we have the stats. Do we have story awards? The dogs are angry. Okay. Let's move here. This is the last page. I don't think there's any story award. So the chainmail, made by Fomorians for a demonic subordinate. This armor crackles with hellish energy and is marked with Yenogo symbol. The symbol can be removed by hand, but the faint smell of blood can never be removed. Yeah, the dogs are really excited for this adventure. So this one looks good. I like this armor. I like the design. And then you have potions, and then that's it. All right, I like the flavor of the armor. But this is it. That's it. This is the last part. That's Bloodlust Rising, everyone. Congratulations. We are done with MOO5-1. Whew. That was a bit long. Actually, it's not long. There was a lot of things not related to the adventure that we talked about. So, what are my thoughts on this adventure? I like it. It's not. I'm not super excited, probably because it's Yenogu. It's just I don't like the Demon Lord Yenogu. Like out of all the Demon Lords, I think that are known so far, like from Out of the Abyss, or described from Out of the Abyss, book, which is another hardcover adventure in 5th edition. I think he's the least interesting Demon Lord. But yeah, this is just kind of like an introduction, kind of like a setup for the trilogy, right? So this is a setup adventure, and hopefully, since we use like a full adventure to set up the whole trilogy, 5-2, the payoff in 5-2 and 5-3 are gonna be big. So that I'm excited, and that I can't wait. So what happens now? Now that we're done with this, again, we stream every Monday through Thursday. Lore Academia happens Monday through Thursday, 11 p.m. Manila, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And we go like one adventure at a time. Tomorrow is Thursday. Let me look at my calendar. Tomorrow is Thursday. And oh no, that's Friday. Where's Thursday? We have a family thing that needs to so we're going out tomorrow, but we should be able to go back here before stream time. So we should be able to stream tomorrow. There should be no problem tomorrow. So streaming tomorrow is okay. Unless a game happens. But I think there's like 90% chance, or 80% chance we should be able to stream tomorrow. And I'll do my best to make sure, because now that we are Twitch affiliate, we need to make sure we adhere to the schedule as much as possible. All right. And then starting next week, we'll start to have scheduled for Fallout 4. Yeah, we'll start playing that game. I need to play that game because there's some deadlines I have to meet. So I need to play that game, know what happened there. It's just going to be like a chill stream. It's going to be on obviously a different time slot than Lore Academia. And it's just me playing a game, trying to figure out what Fallout 4 is all about. And I'm excited. I'm excited to play the game. What time? That's probably like afternoon in the Philippines. So that's what time is that in if it's afternoon in the Philippines, that's too early US time, right? What's the best time? I can't think of like the best time to play it. If I play it at like nighttime, that's still early. If I play it morning Philippine time, that's like nighttime in the US. Have you played any of the Fallout series though? No, I haven't. That's why I bought a controller. I thought I need a controller for Fallout 4, and then chat told me that it's an FPS game. So yeah. Either morning or late night for you. Okay, so yeah, I'll think of a good schedule, but it should be different from the Lore Academia schedule. So figure it out. Either like after Lore Academia or before Lore Academia. That's how it's gonna happen. Okay. All right, we're good. Tomorrow is Thursday, the last day for Lore Academia. Your afternoon is everyone asleep in the US. So I guess not that. Okay, I guess not afternoon. So it's probably night, like before. Man, I'll try to figure it out, because one part of the world will be sleeping when I play this. I can't find. This is like the Lore Academia stream is like pushing like at the edge already of people about to fall asleep and people just waking up. So there. We'll see. I'll figure something out. But next week hopefully we can start playing Fallout 4. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready for some explosions and post-apocalyptic scenarios happening. There. That is it for Lore Academia. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, we stream Mondays through Thursday, 11 p.m. Manila time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Good job, everyone. Time for you to go to sleep if you're here in the Philippines. If you're in the other side of the world, then good luck with the rest of your day. I hope you learned something new, fellow sages. I'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Hopefully our emotes get approved and we get the rest of them made. So, peace. Bye-bye.